Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of Beyond the South Stand, a very special episode today. We are absolutely delighted to be joined with Mr. Paul Cooper. But first, before I introduce Paul, Morgan, how the devil are you?
I'm very well. Feels like I haven't done this with you for a long time.
I know. But they say it's like riding a bike. So,
how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think as we record, Norwich are winning 1-0. So that's always a positive. So
You've discussed it, so we'll come off this and we'll be 2-1 down.
Probably, but that's what being a Norwich fan is all about, isn't it? So without further ado, let's introduce our guest this evening, professional peeper and all-round nice bloke, Mr. Paul Cooper. Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Jez and Morgan. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And as I mentioned, and as sorry, I've just got to mention this. Norwich have just gone 2-0 up, and it's Mo Toure again.
Where are you playing?
We're playing against Oxford.
Right.
So we're now 2-0 up. But yeah, no. Thanks so much for coming on. And as I said before we jumped on, me and Morgan are massive fans of this country and send each other quotes from the show religiously and little clips. So yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you. Who I think not many people would argue with this, but I think you're the real star of the show.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. And the Independent said I'm the nastiest person on TV, which is great. That's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was some times, wasn't there? I mean, when we talked about it when we came on, when it was Kerry's birthday and Curtin came around to get the birthday card signed, and you were like, "This is massively inconvenient, Curtin."
Yeah. I put her in her place.
Yeah. Perhaps before we get going with the questions, maybe just talk a little bit around some of the memories from that show and some of your favourite moments, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it was a whirlwind. So kind of starting my acting career in my 60s was bizarre. So I'd never done any acting before, but nor had Charlie's very first acting, other than singing a verse of Grandfather's Clock at primary school, was Scarecrow Festival, and he was the main character in that particular episode.
Yeah.
So it just, I mean, the first series kind of went, and I thought, what the hell's going on here? But by the kind of second series, I was kind of getting used to what, the filming and what happens and whatever. But yeah, it's those kind of moments, and you kind of think it's going to just carry on forever. But, unfortunately, it comes to an end.
How did you hone? It's based in, is it Oxfordshire?
Gloucestershire, Cotswolds.
Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
How did you hone that accent? Are you from around there?
No, I'm originally from North Devon, Bideford.
Oh, okay.
Bideford. Born there in the 50s. And my brother, Trevor, is Len. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So we're a family of comedians. And do you know Ghosts?
Yes, brilliant.
Matt Bainton.
Yeah, who did he play in Ghosts?
He's the writer and is the kind of plays the kind of poety one. He's also Dino.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's family. He's family. So my brother, my mum is Bainton. So my grandfather, who fought in the First World War, Daisy and Charlie's grandfather, is also Matt's grandfather, great grandfather. So it's weird. Both sides of the family.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, he was in Gavin and Stacey as well, wasn't
he? Yeah, Dino. Yeah,
amazing. No, it's really good. And I think we will inevitably talk about this country later on, but I think if we perhaps move to some of the football related questions, because we're keen to know. So obviously you follow both Fulham and Forest Green Rovers. What different emotions do those two clubs bring out of you as a fan?
Well, Forest Green Rovers is only been for kind of season. I've seen about three games. Charlie's seen more, but it's only about a mile from Charlie's house. So, you know,
Right.
And that is just kind of stepping back in time, really. Just nice to be, you know, as a senior, as an OAP, it's 16 quid to get in, no
That's
VA.
decent.
The trouble is it's vegan food.
Yeah, it's Dale Vince, isn't it?
Pies aren't really, yeah. I had a pie the other week. Don't think I'm going to do that again, but no, fair play to him, you know. And but it's just great. It's just kind of, you know, easy. So I don't have quite that passion for Rovers, but yeah, Fulham 20 years now. Charlie wanted to go when he was about 15 because they had a really nice light blue away kit at the time. So he said, "Oh, can you take me?" Yeah. And we went to an evening game, an FA Cup, and just kind of fell in love with the play. The ground is lovely, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of history. You know, there's so many pubs around kind of Putney and, you know, walking along the river and through Bishop's Park. And the fans are very nice, and there's never any trouble, you know.
No.
It's just
we've always
really
had some
educated, nice, easy, you know.
Have you been to Fulham Palace? Have you been to Fulham Palace Fulham Palace?
I've not, no. Is that the glass thing in the park?
Yeah. So just to let a lot of our female fans down who obviously listen to this podcast of us, I am dating a girl who lives right next to Fulham Football Club, and we went for a coffee in the sort of Fulham Palace yesterday. I've been on the Fulham Pier, the new build that they've got. It's like an art space and a food court within it. It's just incredible. It's an incredible feat of engineering. It's just a really cool vibe. And we were in there, and I was looking out across because they've got like windows that you can look out onto Craven Cottage and look at the pitch. I sent Jez some photos, and I was like, this is so surreal that I'm in this Fulham extension, this Fulham fan zone, I suppose. Not on a match day, and yet there's like comedy clubs, dance classes, there's little places you can have that take your children and stuff, like play areas, all within this section of Fulham's ground. So yeah, it's become a little bit of a go-to for me at the moment. It's a bit weird, but yeah, it's really cool around there. I like it. It's really nice. It's a really nice vibe, nice area. It's still nestled in all those terrace houses. It's still kind of got that old feeling to it a little bit, which I really like compared to, like, I don't know, Chelsea's ground, which it's a bit much.
And were you supporting them when they went on the European run with Roy Hodgson?
Yes, but at the time we were so poor. I think the only game we went to a couple of League Cup games because it was like a £5 to get in. Yeah, we'd kind of lost everything. And and so at the time we were in a kind of we'd lost our house and moved into a 2 up, 2 down.
Sorry to hear that.
Rented place on an estate, which I'm there now. Well, if it hadn't happened, I don't think this country would have been written. So there was a lot of things that seemed like big negatives with this country. That was one of them, but I don't think it would have been written. Charlie wouldn't have been involved, that's for sure. And he wasn't interested at all in writing or acting. It was just circumstances that saw him get involved. So you know what I mean? Sometimes the big things you think are big negatives turn out to be positive. So
no, absolutely. And
so we missed all that. I think Charlie went to see the Shakhtar Donetsk game.
Quarter. Was it quarter final?
And
semi quarter.
I think it's probably the best team I've ever seen. I mean, I watched it on TV. The best team I've ever seen. That first half by them, we won in the end. But one of the best displays of football I've ever seen. They were extraordinary. Yeah.
You had some players, didn't you? I mean, you had Davis on the wing. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that the centre back whose name always escapes me. Icelandic, I think he was, wasn't he? I'm trying to think of his name.
Yes,
I think you had
Hangeland.
Hangeland, of course. Back. I mean, was he Norwegian? But it was one of the two. But he was superb. But I mean, you had a great team then, didn't you? It was some of the lads up front as well. As you know, one of them was Steve? Was
Dempsey,
it Steve Marnay or
yeah,
Dempsey? Of course, yeah, Dempsey.
Oh yeah, of course, Clint Dempsey. Yeah, he was great. So strange American. To think that they are back then, especially. He was American, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And at the time, I don't think he sort of came out of nowhere because the MLS was around, but it wasn't really like it is now.
No, that's for sure.
He was a great player. Who was your keeper? Was he Australian or was he American as
Mark
well?
Schwarzer.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, Schwarzer. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd been at Middlesbrough, hadn't he? And I think he got through to the final with them as well. So no, I mean it was a good team. And Hodgson, he had a great time there, when things were going pretty badly. So they were good years, just weren't able to see many games.
Yeah.
No, this is
we would have loved to have gone there. It was like going to the moon, with our circumstances at the time. So
it's not a very happy hunting ground for us, Jez, is it? His old Craven Cottage. I think it's.
I remember 6-1 a few years ago. Yeah,
yeah, 6-0. Yeah, it was the last game of the season in 2005, and if we'd won that, we would have stayed up. It was in our hands, and I think everyone rocked up thinking, well, Fulham ain't got anything to play for, and 6 goals later, we were. I think I was sitting in the park behind the stand afterwards with my head in my hands. It was quite a warm day from memory, but it was just incredible.
Also, opening day of Chris Hughton's first season, I think, didn't we lose 5-0?
Yeah, I was at that one as well. Yes, I think I've been to Craven Cottage twice.
Stop going to Craven Cottage, please, Jess.
Well, I've never seen Norwich score, and I've seen 11 goals conceded. So it's I get hot sweats anytime I'm sort of in the Fulham Chelsea area. It's never great. But I think
continue.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, mate.
Exactly.
Actually, to be fair, the last time I was at Craven Cottage to watch Norwich, we were 2-0 up, and there were two penalties from Graham, and Graham Dorran scored both, and then you ended up drawing with us 2-2, and then that game was it Nelson Oliveira scored at the last.
Held his shirt up, didn't he, in front of Fark? Never played again.
Yeah. So it's sort of kind of getting there, but not.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're scoring down there now. So anyhow, I mean that's good.
Jez didn't get that.
No,
I've just got it. Very good.
Anyhow,
very good. Yeah,
I think and all that.
I was having a little bet with myself, Paul, as to how long it would take Morgan to mention that he was dating, and 6.5 minutes was well within my bingo card.
Who does she support, by the way? Does she support Fulham?
She doesn't like football,
No.
She gets angry that the football crowd stops her from leaving the road when she has to go somewhere. So I said to her, like, maybe you should keep an eye on the fixtures so you know when the home games are. But yeah,
exactly that.
Yeah,
right. I think it's time for the next question, which I think we've covered some of it already. But
yeah, I mean, it's still an interesting one. So Forest Green, going back to your sort of, I know that you've had a little bit of dalliance with them. It's very much a community club with a unique identity. That's true. What do you enjoy most about supporting sort of smaller local side? And is there anything that you think bigger clubs could take as an adoption from a club like that?
Yeah, I just think the kind of simplicity of it, lots of pros, as I say, 16 quid to get in for an OAP. You can take beer, into the stand.
Oh, really?
Non-league. Yeah. So that's a plus. I think so. Well,
no,
I
you can.
did.
Yeah, I think it's below League Two. I think you can. Yeah, I'm almost certain of it because I've seen the Wilston Raider. He used to have a little beer on, didn't he?
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
and they were a conference. Yeah.
I sat next to him in a dugout in a celebrity game. Anyhow, and no VAR, and just good kind of attacking intent. you know, it's not nearly as cynical as, you know, you don't see people writhing around. Robbie Savage is the manager. He's done a pretty good job, you know, with youth and whatever. There's a lot,
he's done a good job.
of lone players in there and stuff. A very young kind of team. It's just kind of refreshing, you know. I don't quite have the same passion as I do at Fulham, but it's just, and also, you know, there's terraces there. So I mean, the other day, the five-a-side group that kind of Charlie played, I used to play with them at Stroud Community Centre. You know, they all came, so we had about 20 of us, and of course you can stand all together then, you know.
Yeah. That's nice.
Those days, you know, I mean, that's the trouble with seats, isn't it? It's split up, you're not with, you know, just just kind of easy, really. It's just kind of turn up and we're back at Charlie's place 10 minutes later, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they still do it in Germany, don't they? I mean, there's a lot of, and then you've got the safe stand in the Premier League, but I don't think it's the same. But they, you know, Dortmund have got a terrace stand that holds about 25,000 people. It's incredible, and you can have a beer whilst you're watching the game. So you know, I just don't know why they can't do it in the Premier League, because people have moved on, haven't they? I think they brought it in obviously when the troubles happened in the early 90s, but I think people, you know, you can have one when you watch rugby, can't you?
Yeah. I guess it's a different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a different bit of a different mindset, maybe, Jez. So I mean, but then saying that, like, you know, I've been to Dulwich a few times, and obviously Durham Town is so poor. Just for your reference, I'm based in the middle of Norfolk, in a small town. Well, it's not small anymore. It's a town called Durham, and sometimes I go and watch them play non-league. It's like you said, it's chill, you know. You get to have your beer, catch up with some like friends. You don't have that like thing of having to book a ticket and then have your seat, and then your friends across the other side of the stadium, and you don't get to see them. But yeah, I think it's I think some of that, that sort of don't know, I said to Jez before, the Championship and the Premier League feels like a bit like going to watch a Hollywood film sometimes. It's kind of like that sort of clinical feel is sort of washed away a bit of the personality. But you know, there's, I don't know, there's pros and cons. Like your Fulham Pier is really cool. It's a really nice place. You know, eventually, hopefully, Norwich will do something similar, have a new kind of part of the stadium where they can open up for like gigs and things. So yeah, I guess there are sort of pros and cons to it all, really.
I think the new Forest Green Stadium is going to be made of wood. Is that right? Did I read that right? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, from what I can, and they got a vegan pitch at the new lawn.
That's right.
Which is the best pitch I've ever seen. I mean, it's because every time I've been there, it's rained cats and dogs, but there's not a mark on it. It's absolutely unbelievable. Because funny enough, before this season, it's in Nailsworth, which is a village. It's kind of wine bars and stuff and fish restaurants. You know, and then you get, when they're in the first division, you've got a Millwall there.
Yeah.
You know, going to having a drink in a fish restaurant. You know? I mean, it's just so non-football kind. It's bizarre, you know.
It sounds like the village that Neb.
Yeah, it's a kind of, well, it's a small.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like the village that Nebworth really wants to be, but it's not.
Very nice.
What's a vegan pitch when it's at home?
Doesn't eat meat.
No manure on it, I guess. I don't know. No, although I think they spread the pitch with the away fans' urine.
Is that right?
I know that. Yeah, they call taking the piss, I think they call that. It is.
Yeah. That's
so that's what they do apparently. So nothing's wasted.
No. That's definitely not. Do they stop you when you walk through the door and search your bags in case you got any sausage rolls in there? Anyway,
no, they don't even. I haven't been able to work my, the thing on my phone yet. So I'll just fucking get in. They just open the gate and let me in. Some doddery old bloke can't work the phone thing on his,
You're one of those. You're one of those that held people. I got held up the other day at an FA Cup game, and I lost my rag because I couldn't get into the stadium to Carrow Road the first half. So I went to the pub to wait it out. I put the blame on people not knowing how to open an app. So, Paul, I'm watching you.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it was easy, wasn't it, when you just put a fiver over and that was it. I mean, times have changed, that's for sure.
No, 100%. Just before we move to question 3, just question 3, Paul. We were talking earlier on about some of your players that we played for Fulham, but perhaps you could just expand a little bit more on some more of your favourite players that have played for Fulham and Forest Green.
Yeah, well, Forest Green, I don't really know any particularly. I'm terrible. I'm 70 in 14 months' time, so I can't remember any bloody names. There's a good centre back who I think is a midfield player really for Forest Green, called Mendy. Hearts came in, wanted to buy him in the Christmas transfer market, but we turned it down, I think. So I think he'll probably go there in the summer. We had a brilliant loanee who was superb, can't remember his name now, from West Brom, and then they got him back again kind of Christmas time. I think he came on for a minute for West Brom and got injured.
Yeah, he played against us.
God, terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I remember someone for because the commentators were saying about it and said, "Oh, this guy's just come back from Forest Green," but I'll be buggered if I could remember his name. What about some of the Fulham players then down the years?
Yeah, gives with W. Yeah, I mean, probably Charlie and myself. One of our favourite players, just because of he certainly wasn't the most skillful, was probably Brian McBride, another American. There's a lot of Americans that played for,
Yeah.
And I just think he was the epitome, really. He just worked so hard, very honest kind of player, and in the Championship, Mitro was, was amazing.
Yeah, he was.
And then under Parker, we got up there and he didn't play him. I can't believe it. He played a winger up front,
Yeah.
And I see he's going down with Burnley again.
Yeah, they ain't going to stay up, are they? It's just his brand of football, and I just don't think Burnley invested, did they? And you can see what Leeds and certainly Sunderland, but even Leeds are looking like they're going to stay up as well, don't they? So I think both those clubs have, they've really have invested in the squads and look like they're going to stay up. So that's brilliant, really. Morgan, I think we might be ready to move on to question 4.
Sure. I was just looking at the league table. You're 5th. You've had a bit of a mixed Forest Green. Sorry, not Fulham. You've had a bit of a mixed bag of late, by the looks of things. 2 draws, 2 losses, and a win. But you're still 5th.
We were struggling with a striker. We've got some guy in from Merthyr Tydfil, Rees. He looks pretty good, but I don't know. I think the problem is we got a lot of loan players, and I think we have to play them. And which means that some of the more experienced players don't play. And Robbie does like to, chop and change a bit. So I think we might even be quite lucky to stay in the playoff things this season, but we'll see. Yeah.
How many is it again? How many is it, like one automatic place and then?
Yeah, only one automatic. It's a darn difficult league to get out of. Yeah. And then
so it's a bit
and then playoffs. Not easy. And there's a lot of good half the teams were, ourselves included, were come from the league. So
I know
big teams, York, Rochdale,
Scunthorpe, Carlisle.
Yeah.
I didn't realise Carlisle were there.
Southend.
Yeah,
Southend. Yeah,
one of our old managers, Carlisle. Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke to a famous Southend fan a couple of months ago, actually, and Martin Treneman. So he was in the in-betweeners as Simon's dad and phone shop, which was excellent. But it was great speaking to him and
So
hearing about
we
Southend.
like to get actors on this podcast who played dads, middle-aged dads. So there's a theme going, Paul.
Definitely.
I wish I was middle-aged.
You're only as old as you feel, Paul. Only as old as you feel.
Yeah, 105. Yeah.
I was gonna say the alternative saying, but I decided not to. We'll go for the original. So I get a pretty juicy question, Jez. Are you sure you don't want to ask?
No,
you
can have this because I'm doing 5, and then you've got the what's it at the end.
Okay, so you have a career as an actor, funnily enough, most prominently featuring this country as Martin Mucklowe. Can you tell us a little bit about your career? I know you have already, but and having to pretend to be a Swindon Town fan.
That's a great bit of acting. That is,
yeah. So, how did you end up getting drafted in as Martin Mucklowe, and why that particular character?
Yeah. Well, Daisy, I think Daisy wanted a few kind of non-actors in it. So Michael Sleggs, who played Slugs, who was in the form above her at primary, he hadn't acted before. And I think they were looking at someone else initially. So I kind of came to it quite late. The rest of the cast was brilliant. I saw, the casting agent was superb, with the vicar and Mandy and people like that, was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And she said, Dad, why don't you, do a screen test? Because, as my dad, because you look a bit like me, kind of fat and bald. And and so I said, well, what kind of voice do I put on? And she said, well, go and listen to go on YouTube and listen to the police interviews with Fred West. So I did, and he's got that kind of sing-song voice, and but saying the kind of the worst things ever. So I did a screen test. I think actually a little bit of it was kept in. There was a bit about, I think a little bit of what I did was a bit of improv about Fred West and, the best and whatever. Because if you talk to any builder in Gloucestershire, they said, yeah, he's a good builder. And in fact, I was in Cirencester a few years ago, and the guy in front of me, I was in a garage having the MOT, and he said, yeah, I used to have a builder's merchant in Gloucester, and you know who my best customer was? Always paid his bills on time, perfect gentleman, Fred West.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fair. And in fact, when I lived in North Devon, we lived in the same village where Rose was born. So she was there when we were there. So
it's taking the time.
So yeah.
Because
and in fact, quote, I was doing a tour of I do tours now of North Leach, where they filmed, and we had a couple the other week, and they said, oh, look at this, Paul, you'll be interested in this. Look, my mum and dad out for dinner with Fred and Rose. And they opened up this photograph. I said, oh, they were shocked when they heard the news. So
like the fact they carry around with them. Amazing.
Yeah.
Because I quote that quote to Jez. I've quoted it to him a few times. So the fact that you brought it up has made my evening, even though it's not. It's probably not the nicest.
Amazing.
Always makes me. It always tickles me, that one.
Yeah, I think the other bit, one of the best bits, I mentioned it at the very start, didn't I? Is when your character gets caught peeping, and I think the explanation that you offer to I was going to say to Daisy, but to Kerry, I think it is you're speaking to in the caravan. It's just an amazing scene, isn't it?
I didn't like it, not one bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinary what they wrote. I mean, they the writing is incredible. Looking back,
No,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
How many takes did? Sorry, go on, Morgan. Carry on.
I was going to say, I think what I really liked about it, and I mean, because we're talking a few years ago now, aren't we? We're talking a while ago, back in 2017.
Yeah, the last series was half of it was before lockdown, and half of it was it's 5.5.
Yeah.
5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. 6 years ago. Sorry, yeah.
But I remember
2000, so 6 years ago was the last series.
Yeah, being from my hometown though, there's those characters in the show that I'm like, there's a Mandy in this town. That area that the house is based reminds me of a place in Durham called Moorgate, which is quite like those sort of like, I guess, social housing, kind of like 1950s, 1960s social housing. And I used to go, play out in those areas when I was a kid. And you always had that sort of like Mandy character that, that hard woman or someone or guy in the town that you never messed with. The nice, it's just really relatable. And like some of the absolute, like just those two hanging out in the bus shelter or just doing stuff that's really mundane, like going to that like area where they have those tiles and they're sort of like is it the dump gang or something like that? And I used to go with my friends, like before they finished this housing estate. You're able to get on like it wouldn't do it now. You were able to get into the houses that before they were like finished, and you smash windows and stuff like that. I mean, that's like going back when I was a kid, so a while. But it's just so relatable.
Better not do it in the glass house by Fulham Palace.
Yeah,
not chucking rock around there, mate. Well, the kids never changed the name. So up on this estate where I am now, the Chesney, they call it, Chesterton Estate in Cirencester, there is a Mandy with a dog and tattoos. But she's very happy to be the real Mandy. So when we had the first series, after there was we put a thing on at the Cornhall. They sold 500 tickets overnight and some interviews, and they showed some of the scenes, and the real Mandy was sitting in the front row. So just before it was about to start, she turns around to the audience and goes, "I'm the real Mandy." So all those characters, Mr. Perkins from the school was their woodwork teacher, and they liked him, but they just said, "Oh, Perkins is just has to be Perkins." So the school went mad, obviously. After that episode, so they didn't even change the names.
And Robert Robertson must have been real then, because you had the tea towel with Robert Robertson on it, so he must have been the real person. And then obviously you got an actor.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I mean but the scripts were just, and the lines, I mean, but I think what a lot of people didn't know, they did a pilot for ITV via Universal, and it took about 4 or 5 years to do it.
Right.
And the Universal, the guy, just kept saying, "Oh no, that's not right. Oh, that's not right. That's not right."
Yeah.
And it went on and on and on and on and on, and in the end, this kind of watered down version, and it just wasn't right. So that was another huge negative. The other thing, which was the most extraordinary thing, was that it took Daisy 3 years to get into to RADA, where she wanted to be. So that was a huge negative. But what it meant was that then Charlie and Daisy were on the same timeline, because he's 3 years younger than her. And he went to didn't really know what to do. Other than, he knew he didn't want to act or write. And he did sports science at college, and then went to Exeter University to do it, not realizing it's nearly all public school kids, and just didn't really get on down there. So after 2 years, he said, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore." We said, "Great, quickly go to RADA, sleep on Daisy's floor because she's hating it down there and she wants to leave all the time." And that's the reason why it got written and whatever. He had no interest.
Yeah.
So it was those. And at the time, we thought 3 years, every year was kind of, it's going to be another year. But it all worked out in the end. It was fate, really.
Had Daisy always had an interest in it? I guess she was the driver of it, right? Because, I guess she always had an interest in acting and wanted to push something like this forward.
Yeah, you could see from the age of about 2 or 3, she was going to be on the stage. Absolutely no doubt. She used to stand on the kitchen table with a Dolly Parton wig, a massive foam microphone, singing along to Miss Saigon. But by the end, it was 50-50 writing and everything, and the fact that Charlie never acted before, but he's a perfectionist and he's good at everything he does. He's a pretty good footballer. I was in a band in the 70s, and I was kind of leaving my guitar around when he was a teenager, and he picked it up at about the age of about 17, 18. And within a year was better than I was, and I played for about 40 years. So he started a band up, and I was their manager. We used to just drive around the country, gigs for 2 years. And after 2 years, he said, "That's it. We're not improving. We're not getting any better," and stopped it. Never picked up a guitar again.
What was the band called?
They were called the Playmakers. That's a football-y thing, but when the band stopped, he removed everything from social media and whatever. But that's it. He's he's kind of very good at whatever he does, and he's gone on and is doing a lot of writing. He's written films and various things. So I think there's a lot to come.
Yeah, 100%. I think his best line in this country, without a doubt, is when your character moves back in with Kerry's mum, and I think Kerry sort of delivers a few lines saying, "Oh, it's nice to have Dad back" or whatever, and then I don't really hear a lot, and then it cuts to Kurt and he says, "Sue's getting porked big time by Martin." She's getting porked big time.
Drilling her 8 inches into the memory foam. That was just the tip, by the way. No, that's not. Just the bell end. No. Yeah. Anyhow.
Oh, amazing. And then the building to it.
Yeah.
Sam, who's the Swindon striker? Sam.
Norris.
Yes. Because he used to play for Ipswich,
Luke
unfortunately.
Luke Norris.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Then he went to Colchester fairly shortly after.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I had one of his mates on a tour recently, and Luke said that it was his finest hour in football was being mentioned on this country.
In this country. Yeah.
Yeah,
because I think your assistant. Yeah, he was at Stevenage. Yeah. Your assistant says, Martin says that he won't have anyone speak badly of Luke Norris or Swindon Town Football Club.
Especially Luke Norris. He plays darts with his dad. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, in the keepers. Yeah. I'm not sure if I can bring myself to talk about the grandma and the mum under the table scene or not.
Tag team.
It's a family podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, it was.
Mother-in-law and sister-in-law. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, go on the Big Dipper.
That's right.
Yeah, I love
it. It's a family affair. Yes, because Sandra wanted to have a go after it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, all written for their dad.
Yeah. What was it? When it's the court case, isn't it? And I think Curtin says, "Oh, look at Martin there. He looks like a ball bag or something." It was something like that.
I tell you what, I think I got off lightly compared to their 2 drawings. They look like what brilliant drawings from the BBC art department and the drawings for the tattoos and that, and stuff like the Dalek that they did in.
The Dalek was brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah, the Scarecrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Vicar as well. I think the Vicar's amazing. I think some of the lines he comes out with, and when he loses it with Len, when Kerry injures her leg, move on, Len.
Yes. Yeah, he was always just at the surface, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was always at the surface.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he was brilliant. I mean, I saw his audition and other Vicars, and I saw Mandy's audition as well up in London, and you know, she just stood out as well.
Yeah,
she's really, really good casting there.
Yeah, the book club's a personal favourite.
Yeah, I think when it was one-on-one, the Vicar and Mandy, it took all afternoon. They just laughed all the time. I mean, the worst was the Vicar for corpsing Paul Shahidi, and Charlie was the second. So, and they were in a lot of scenes together. So, it took quite a lot of time.
How long the fight outside the caravan when Curtin's girlfriend runs off? How many takes did that take to do?
I think that was just one. But I started kicking me up the arse. What are you doing? Didn't do that in rehearsal. And then after, you know, we're sitting in the things, and I'm going on the last Thursday of the month, I give Alan's wife the full works. And we're sitting there topless drinking beer, and the first assistant director says, we've got 2 minutes of light. We have to get this, otherwise, you know, the whole of tomorrow's. So there's no pressure, you know. Sometimes you think, so that was quite a difficult one. Yeah,
no, it's amazing. I don't know. I'm sure you're the same, Morgan, but I could literally talk about this all night.
Yeah.
Shall we?
For sure. Cock one ball to us.
Yeah, it's absolutely superb. I think the what was it? Not the Scarecrow Festival. Which is it when it's her birthday and they go on this mad walk to
Steam Fair.
Steam. That's it. Steam Fair.
There's the turd in the tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing about that one was in the first series, in Oven Space, they talk about Uncle Nugget. Stealing a bus from Swindon bus station with a load of people and going round the roundabout. That actually happened. It was a drug dealer from Cirencester. And then fast forward to the next series and Steam Fair, the bus that Curtin was doing the kind of, you know, giving the finger and messing around because he was sexing his nan. And then later on, they're out in the country and the bus driver recognizes that actual bus was stolen by a couple of lads a few months after, driven 10 miles and crashed.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, was that coincidence, or was that because they knew about the Uncle Nugget store and they knew that bus was in What's-It? So kind of this country kept carrying on along, you know, with all these weird things happening.
With the scene with the Dyson Hoovers, I think it's the scene where you're trying to convince Kerry to go and bear all, and so she's the one that needs to fess up and say it's her fault. It wasn't anything to do with you. How difficult was it to film that scene?
Very easy.
Yeah.
No, actually, it was very difficult because I hadn't realised that scene was going to be on. I thought it was going to be the next day, and I hadn't learned the lines, so that was quite, you know, I had to kind of. I mean, some of the lines they wrote for me, you think, you know, but Mucklowe's look after Mucklowe's, and she pulled my pants down about them Dysons.
You ready for your next Norwich City score update?
Go on.
They lose 2-2.
No, we're winning 3-0, and Mohamed Toure has scored a hat-trick on his second.
No.
Yeah.
There goes my peak. So we have this, Paul. We have this a football forum called the Pinken, which is how I met Jez, actually, coincidentally. And I have a prediction. We have a prediction league on there, and I've been shit so far this season, and I'm losing again tonight because I predicted 2-1. So thanks, Norwich.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'll do the last one then if I can actually find the questions because I've lost them again. Morgan, was there any other memories from the show that you wanted to discuss?
No, we'll get your question out of the way with first.
Okay. Paul, have you been asked to do any follow-up character work for Fulham, Forest Green, or even Swindon Town?
Well, Charlie and I were on the Fulham Fixes, which there's something, and the interviewer is Felix from the Maccabees. Do you remember the Maccabees? The band?
I do.
Yeah. So they do a thing. So that was, that was brilliant, and we both went up there and talked about it. I don't think anyone's recognised us at Forest Green yet, so that's quite nice. Is that what you meant? Just as
Well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes these clubs, cotton on, don't they? And actually think, well, we'll do a bit of social media work here and get Martin Mucklowe on from this country, or
Charlie's done quite a bit for Fulham. He did a big thing with. Oh, there's a guy from What's It Do Nothing,
Oh, people just do nothing, yeah.
Yeah, and he supports Newcastle, and they did a thing because we were playing them, and we were playing them, and there was a big thing about that. So Charlie's done quite a bit of stuff. He was actually got through to the final during lockdown of the fans, the PlayStation, FIFA. He got through to the final and was hammering. I think it was Brentford, our rivals, and was about 3-0 up at half time and lost 4-3 or something.
Oh,
and there's a thing on there was a thing on Twitter with Scott Parker giving him advice.
That's probably
on
why.
How to beat Brentford on FIFA.
That's amazing. No, that's really good.
Yeah.
Look, Paul, thank you so much for coming on. It's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed getting to hear some sort of background stories about the show, but also obviously your love of Fulham and Forest Green as well.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Morgan Hewitt for what seems like an eternity. I haven't actually said this. Morgan's random question of the week.
Yeah. Firstly, though, Paul, this has made an appearance before on one of our other podcasts.
Not easy, is it?
My lungs are so strong I could blow up a hot water bottle.
Yeah, just one breath, me.
We'll clip that. Random
question of the week. So this is why I wanted Jez to move on, because obviously there's that scene where you famously steal a bunch of Dysons and Kerry has to look after them for you. My random question of the week to you, Paul, is if you had to steal a bunch of things, what would those things be and why, and where would you store them? And I know we'd probably get in trouble for this, but whatever.
Well, as myself, anything
you want to stockpile.
What a question.
Yes, interesting question. Possibly the very old version of Fray Bentos, when the tins were bigger and there was more meat in. Now it's no meat in there and it's small and whatever. Yeah, the old, if someone's got a stash, they go into their grandparents' house who's just died and they've got a kitchen full of the old Fray Bentos tins, then give me a call. Yeah.
House clearance specials with Fray Bentos. Love it.
Jez?
Well, I'm going to go down the food route as well. For me, it'd be the Kinder eggs. I absolutely love a Kinder egg. And I still, I don't do the toy anymore. That just gets flung, but it's the chocolate. I absolutely love it.
We all know that's a complete lie. You've got cupboards full of those crappy little toys you've assembled.
It's little Barbie dolls and stuff. Yeah, no, it's not. It's they get flung, I'm afraid. Which Forest Green probably wouldn't be too happy with if I said that. I just fling the plastic out of the Kinder eggs.
Fray Bentos as well.
Exactly. Morgan, what about you?
Well, in case the internet decides to ever break, I think we've got a stockpile dirty magazines.
Yeah. I think that's not a bad
Yeah,
shout.
I work with people with hoarding behaviours, and I went in one place, and it was full to the ceiling with very hardcore German porn. And it should have taken about a month. It took me 5 years to clear it.
Why, getting distracted?
Possibly.
I think that might be the joke, Morgan. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, look, Paul, is there anyone? Sorry, I've got one more question actually. Is there anything else in the pipeline? You got anything else coming up? I know you do your DJ sets and stuff as well. I've seen that on Instagram. So yeah, what's next for Mr. Cooper?
Yeah, a little bit. I was in Kingston today doing a bit of filming for some. Got a few kind of small, kind of short films.
The Martin Mucklowe quiz night, don't you? All this country.
Yeah, we sold out. We've sold out in Southampton, 300 tickets, and we've got one at the Keepers in April. So
yeah, I would love to come along to one of those as well at some point. So yeah, I'll be in touch. But yeah, anything else from you, Morgan, before we finish?
No, you cockwomble, get on with it.
You know what's coming, don't you?
What is it? Your spiel?
My spiel. So thanks everyone for listening. We are also available on Facebook, Instagram, and X. We are proudly part of the TalkSport fan network and sponsored by Master Seal and Pi Design. I've been Jez Davies.
I've been Morgan Hewitt.
And I've been Martin Mucklowe.
Brilliant.
Bye, everyone. Bye.